Deep in the Florida backwoods of the Florida Panhandle, there's a place called Wright's Creek that not many even know about. Let's check out this epic beauty today. Well, hello everybody. It's been a while since I've been able to get out on the kayak. But today we're over here at Wright's Creek down here off of Choctahatchee River down around Caryville. And we're going to check it out. It's beautiful weather today. It's supposed to be up in the mid 70s. So it's going to be a nice day for a paddle. And me and Ollie, I brought Ollie with me again. We're just going to get out here and check it out. I hope y'all enjoy it. And if you have any questions about this place or anything I can help you with, just let me know. And we are off. It's just the right time. All the leaves are coming back out. I mean, the pollen's kind of bad, but hey, it's part of it. Yeah, the water's up a little bit. It has rained last weekend, actually. Rained pretty good. I don't know exactly how much we got, but I can definitely tell that this, usually the last time I put in here, this was pretty low. This little spot here. It's like a little inlet that goes out into Wright's Creek. And you had to be very selective about where you put in to get out into the creek. But not today. You can pretty much go anywhere and paddle. This will open up into Wright's Creek. So peaceful out here, and all the times I've been out here I haven't encountered a lot of people here. The warmer it gets, like anywhere else, the more you'll see, but there's not a lot. It's kind of secluded, not everybody knows about it. I remember when I first started coming down here, that tree was hanging over the edge. It was still alive. I guess it's still alive. It's got leaves on it, but it's barely alive. Just fell over and fell into the creek. we're coming up on the Caryville Highway, Highway 179. And if you go that way, it'll take you towards Caryville. Back to Highway 90. And then you can go to Bonifay, or you can go towards Defuniak. That bridge is a pretty long bridge, even though the Wright Creek mostly just goes under it right where I'm at. But during the flood season, when it's raining a lot, which is mostly summer, late fall, sometimes spring, it can get pretty full and spread out. This creek, it can spread out really wide, which is why that bridge is so long. One thing I have yet to see in Wright Creek, but I'm sure they're in here, no doubt. I think I've heard some, is alligators. But like I said, yeah, if you're in Florida, what they say, where the water's wet, there's alligators. You know, I've even seen pictures and video of them at the beach. That's not typical, but definitely in these creeks there, you're gonna find alligators, period. Whether you see them or not, they're there. I remember when we used to go, when I used to go fishing more with my dad. He loved to fish. Right, Dad? And I remember when we would go mullet fishing. We'd go mullet fishing down in, I think it was Freeport. Seemed like Aliquot off of Black Creek or something like that. And we go down there, and I was younger, and I'd ask, where were we going to fish? You know, he'd always seem like we'd look for a spot where there was like empty worm containers or crickets or somebody's, you know, beer cans or something like that. And I always wondered, why are we fishing in these spots? And he'd tell me, well, they stayed here a while, so they were probably somebody's fishing spot, and they probably been catching fish there. I remember that water though, it was always so dark, and as a kid I always thought, man, there's no bottom to this creek. And it just, I mean, I wasn't a real good swimmer at the time, and always scared me. I was always afraid if I fell out, I'd go, just keep going, I guess. I don't know. Now, Wright's Creek is the creek that I think I've came down. Well, I know I've came down it many times, but I can tell you this, you better bring some bug spray. Unless it's like right now. Right now, in March. I'll look at my watch, see what month it is. March. It's still cool and the bugs ain't bad. Now if you stop, you know, on the banks, you might get some red bugs or something, but not bad out here over the water right now, as long as I'm moving. So I ain't even bit by anything. But just if you come during the summer or the fall, be sure you bring some bugs back. Something. Keep biting bugs off of them. And there's all kinds out here. We'll come right up here and I'll show you these lily pads that's over here on the side. A little closer to them so you can see them. Well, I call them lily pads. I guess that's what they are. And then come during the well, certain times of the year, you'll see they have beautiful yellow blooms on them. Real pretty. I just always call them lily pads. Fish like to hang out in them too. I don't know who owns that land, but it's sure a good spot. It's beautiful. Great place to camp, but it, you know, it's somebody's land. But sure is pretty. Whoever you are, you got a nice view, buddy. You know, another good thing about the water being up that I've found is, you know, these creeks, and like you see all them trees down, but the water's up, so you can cut through the woods in some places where ordinarily you wouldn't be able to, and keep on going and get past some trees if you don't want to get out and portage around them, which I rarely get out. I just go as far as I can go. Plus, it'll cut off some miles of paddling. You can go through the woods, you know, as long as you're in the water. Stay in the water. But the majority of the time I stay on the main creek anyway, unless there's a reason to go through the woods, you know, to get around a tree that's blocking the creek. You know, what is it about kayaking that intrigues me so much that I feel like I want to go? I like making the YouTube videos, you know, it's fun. Interacting with people, that's fun. That is a lot of it. I don't know if it's half of it, but I really enjoy getting out here. I mean, you hear that? Nothing. Maybe the birds, if you could hear them. But you get to see stuff, you know, like this tree right here. See that stump? I've showed y'all this before. I came through here. See, that's a dead cypress tree, looks like, with a tree growing out around it and in the middle of it that is just budding with life. You know? There's just so much stuff, you know, to look at out here. Hold on just a minute, let me tie this back. So, there's just so much stuff to see. It's just so peaceful. You know, after you've had a long, hard week at work, maybe, you know, it's nice to get out here. And, you know, I'm developing a gut, so I also need to exercise, so it's good for that as well. But, you know, the main part of it is just to being out here in nature and God's creation. And how can you not appreciate this? You know, that's why I don't like to see trash laying up here on the banks. There's no way the amount of trash that I see in our waterways that I can pick all that up and clean it up. I just don't have the room for it. If I see something, you know, within arm's reach that I can grab, you know, I can grab a little bit and bring it back with me. But other than that, I just wish people would take better care of it. But I mean, back to the reasons why I come. I mean, what are your reasons? Do you like to come kayaking? What do you like about it the most? You know, do you have any comments? I got Ollie with me right here, by the way. Do you have any comments or thoughts about that? If you do, put them in the comments down below in the video, and maybe we'll talk about it. You know, have a discussion about it. I like to get your input. Maybe some things or places to go that I haven't been. You know, I passed a boat ramp off of, let's see, where did I pass that boat ramp? I passed a boat ramp up the road coming to here, coming to this spot. And I honestly had never been there. And, you know, there's no telling how many times I passed that and didn't even realize it was there. You know, and I like to check out the boat ramps just to see how well they're made and kept up, you know. And the Choctawhatchee has a lot of them, so I'll have to check that one out as well. But if you have any thoughts or anything about, you know, kayaking or camping or anything like that, I don't do a lot of camping. I've got the gear to do it with. I just, most of the time, just don't have the time, because I usually just go for the day. But I'm hoping in the near future to be able to start doing some of that kayak camping, whether it's in a hammock or in a tent. We got both, so we can do whichever one. I prefer hammock, but I'm fine with the tent. The reason I don't want to do a tent is you just have to bring more stuff with you for the tent, you know, or it takes up more space. And the hammock is just so much smaller. This place is just so amazing to me. I just love Wright's Creek. It's a jewel that many, many people have never saw. And it's just so quiet and so serene back here. It's unimaginable until you get back here to check it out. And you know, I think every time I come back here, I think I see something new. You know, I come at different times of the year, and I'll say, you know, I always say it's beautiful, but I really think that right now, with everything just starting to bud, that probably right now is the perfect time to be on the creek here. To see Wright's Creek at its best. And I kind of want to show you something. So let me show you where we came from. We came from that way. We're headed upstream. So I'm just going to spin this boat all the way around, and I want you to see if you can figure out which way to go. Which way does the creek go? I mean, there's water all the way around. Oh, there's some land right there. And then we're back around to where we started at. Now, that's what I mean. There's so much water in here, and the water goes on into the woods over here as well. There's just a little land right there, but there's trees laying down in front of the main portion of the creek, the main flow of the creek, I guess you can say. This is the boundaries where it should be. It's just overflowing. But when it's overflowing like this, you know, the flow is all across all this water. So it is just no problem to paddle upstream right now. And I just love it. We're actually on we're on the banks, what would be the banks of the creek right now. So these trees line up, these little trees that I'm going through. Yeah. So now we're back on, you see these trees right here, these little scrub trees, whatever you want to call them, growing along the banks. That's the bank. Or that's supposed to be the bank. That'd be a nice little place to camp right there too. I'm sure it's probably private property, but if you know whose it is, you could ask and make a great place to camp. Even with the water being high, it's not bad. It's dry up there. yeah, I'd say early fall and right now early spring, when these trees are looking like this. To me is the prettiest time to go. Remember the first time I came down this and videoed it, I had there was some, well, it was not flooded, and the current was pretty strong because all this water was so narrow in the channel, and there was some ducks hanging around right up here in this curve. I think there was 3 or 4 of them, and they I got up here and they started following me, and they just would not stop following me. So apparently somebody was feeding them, and I realized it when I got on up further up here, and I come across there's like a couple of houses on the left, and they kind of stopped there and didn't follow me any further and went up and got on the banks. So I think those people probably feed those ducks. But when I came back by, they came back out and followed me down to about this curve, and then they kind of turned around and went back. Oh my goodness, there's a big tree. Oh yeah, we can still get by though. What I'm floating over right here is where I stopped at. It was a sandbar when I came through, with the ducks were following me. But it's not a sandbar now. Look how that tree limb got lodged in between them 2 trees. That's pretty cool. Looks like somebody all cut it to fit there. Oh, they did. They tied it there. Yeah, I thought that was a little too. I thought that was a little too good to be true. What they were doing there? What do you think they were doing there? Anybody got any idea? See, can you see the string on there? Huh, I don't know. But it's tied together to those trees. I don't know. I'm sure it's there for a reason. You can see here that the water has been up much higher. Sand up there, and there's nothing really growing along there, so definitely been up higher. And I'm thinking that little dock is probably broken loose and floated down to here. I'm not sure, but that's what it looks like. Or it may have been on this side over here. I don't know. No, it's actually, it's built right there, attached. Pontoon boat and a couple other little boats. And if you look right up there in the woods, you'll see a little house up on stilts. Kind of a shack, I guess. A fishing shack, maybe. I don't know. Pretty place right here in the bend of this beautiful creek. But we're coming up on a bridge, and I believe they refer to this bridge as Wire Bridge, and I believe that's what it's called. if you look on the map, it will say Bonifay Caryville Road, but it also says Pollard Harris Road. Just depends on how far you zoom in or out. It's got two different names on the map, but I was told it was called, the bridge was called Wire Bridge. Yeah, I remember when it was wooden bridge still, and that's been a few years back, but not that long. I wouldn't say, yeah, well, I'll take that back. It's, you know, depends on what you want to think about how long it is, but I'd say 15 to 20 years maybe. I don't know if it's been that long or not, but somewhere in that range. It ain't that long, really. The last time I came through here, the same boat was tied up right here. Well, it's a good place to park one, keep it out of the sun and the rain. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a zip line. Can you see that zip line? Coming up here on my right, somebody has made them a contraption to pick up them old trees and logs that are on the bottom of the creek and the river. I believe they call it deadheading or something like that. They have built them some. I saw this here the last time when I came. Pretty interesting. Built very well. So this is not actually part of the creek. This is overflow. The main part of the creek's gonna be over to your right, and we should run into it. If you do cut through the woods, just watch out for them little cypress stumps, or cypress knots, not cypress stumps. They will, you can flip over bumping on them things, you know, riding over them. You can't see some of them's under the water just below it where you just can't barely see them till you get right up on them, and you start bumping up and down on them things and you're going over them. And make you feel like you're gonna flip over. So just think about that before you do what I just did. You have to be real mindful of what's under there. It ain't the end of the world if you flip over, you know, as long as you're wearing your life vest, or you know, and if you can swim, that's a good thing too. We're hearing all kinds of sounds back here, ain't we, Ollie? Maybe you can hear the woodpecker. I hear a woodpecker. See if he does it again. He's somewhere up ahead of us. Of course, now that I start recording again, try to catch him doing it. He stops. You can probably tell that the creek, the passage, the banks, whatever, even though it's overflowing, I'm not going to see land over here to my left. It's getting narrower, as creeks do, as you go further up, you know, from where they start. A lot of different creeks feed into this one. I don't know all the names of them. I believe there's one 10-mile creek and a Little Creek or something like that. I can't remember all the names of them, but you know, they all feed into here and kind of make this creek what it is. And by the way, I heard the woodpecker again. I hope you heard that. That was the woodpecker. Maybe this mic is good enough to pick that sound up. But he is going to town on a tree, I can tell you that. I think Ollie is probably about ready to go. Aren't you, buddy? I know I am. I hadn't had anything to eat yet today, and I hadn't had anything to eat since actually yesterday morning. So it's about time to head back and go find something. I think, you know, I believe a smash burger would sound awesome right now. I may go get some hamburger meat and get out the Blackstone and cook a couple of those for me, because I'm home alone this weekend. So I guess we have pretty much reached our destination, so to speak, as far as we're going to go. And now we're going to start floating back. Now, being that I don't have a lot of current, there is some, but if I don't paddle, it's going to take me a while to get back. So I'll just continue to paddle a little bit, keep my speed up, and we'll start heading back. But I do hope you've enjoyed it thus far. I know I sure have. It's been a much needed paddle for me. So anyway, let's head on back. Nice to have a little assistance on the way back with that current pushing me back. It's not a lot, but it's just enough to make it a little easier. Certainly was a good day to go. So the wind's picking up a little bit. I can feel it down here, but it's not showing on the water yet of where I'm at. But if you look on further ahead, you can see it shimmering making the waves, the ripples in the water. That's why it's shimmering like that. Really pretty. Especially with that nice looking oak tree over here on the left side, hanging over the side. That thing is gorgeous. Well, I think I had a great time. I mean, who couldn't in a place like this? You know, like I said, one of the best parts about getting to do this kind of stuff is just getting to be out in the great outdoors. You know, some people can't. Some people are unable to, you know. And, you know, I'm still capable of doing stuff outside. I'm still capable of paddling a boat, you know, lifting this boat and putting it in the water. I can swim pretty well. You know, one day I might not be able to. So I thank God for the ability that I still have. And for those that aren't able to, I hope you enjoyed this video as well. And, you know, I guess you could say I'm kind of doing this for you as well, and for those that can't come out and enjoy the great outdoors. So if you can, and if you can't, remember, you need to get outdoors. Until next time, me and Ollie will see y'all later. Have a nice weekend. And that right there is almost, you could call it the finish line. It's almost the finish line. We don't have much further to go past this bridge. And I'm glad, because I'm hungry. And so is Ollie. So he's got dog food in the truck, but I don't have anything to eat.